Yeah, so as we said, self-esteem is the way how much you like yourself, and with the confidence and being able to change that, you are able to increase that in the way you feel good about. And so this webinar is going to be about the modeling part. So what does modeling exactly mean? So we went over how that you're able to change it, and modeling is basically a tool that makes it a lot easier that you can change in a direction that you like. And modeling basically just says you look at what another person does, you like it, and you want to adopt it for yourself.
Yeah.
That sounds super easy, but that's what we're going to talk about to like demystify a couple of things that you maybe think, oh, this person is way too good at it, I will never be able to achieve that, and those sorts of beliefs that are behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And for now, we're going to start, as always, with a short little wake-up ritual to get the mind started and be ready for whatever we're going to tell you then after that. So we super easily start again with just 3 super deep breaths, and then hold it when you inhaled completely for, I don't know, a second, 1.5, and then release everything. That's just for now 3 times. And so then just for getting your muscles a bit ready, we just move our shoulders a bit.
Your muscles, because we were going
Yes.
to exercise.
Well, mentally.
Mentally.
So, yeah, just move the shoulders like forward, just 3 times. Just forwards, down, backwards, and up. And that again. And again. Just in the speed that you feel comfortable in. And then we just move or circle our head basically, also 3 rounds in each direction. So we just start by doing that and just slowly making this movement to relax, but also get alert.
Yeah.
So we hope you also feel a bit more awake as we do as well. And you can also find in the pin post of this chat basically the outline. Just briefly explain what we, the recap from the last 2 sessions, then last week's exercise, what we will get into right now. Then we're going to explain the modeling process, how that works and how you can use that, and at last again another exercise on how you do that, and be prepared for next week basically.
Yes. So we start with the homework as teachers.
Oh my god, super teacher.
Yes, that's such a teacher thing. So we asked last week that you choose one of your strengths and one area that you would like to improve, or a project that you have or something, and use this strength, transform it into a person, and sit with this person and have a conversation about this project, this goal, this challenge you're facing. It could also have been that, and listen the tips that this person has to offer. So if you did the homework and you found out weird things, you feel free to share them and we can discuss them. And if you didn't do that exercise, we shared it in the chat, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
yes,
read.
We did.
And you can do it after today's session. So it's a pretty useful exercise for, changing a perspective a little bit, because we tend to focus so much on what we don't have and like the lacks and the things that are missing, instead of the strengths that we already have and the things that we already have. And by using that perspective, putting on the goggles of the strength, then we already just take a different stance, and this problem sort of starts to become more manageable, or this goal becomes more approachable. This project starts to get clear. So yeah, just share if you had any challenges with that. And
also maybe something, if something revealed itself for you, if you had like nice experiences with it, just put it also maybe in the chat if you feel like sharing, so we can like pick it up and explain it for other people who just joined as well. So that would be nice. Yeah.
Yes. So today, instead of using our own strengths, which you already found out because you did the test, if you didn't, also we will put it somewhere in the comments. I know it's a lot of back and forth, but it's really important that you find your strengths and use them, because you have a lot of them. So today what we will do is, we have strengths, but other people have awesome strengths as well. So what we will do is basically just steal those for us. They don't lose them, we just don't take them away from them, but we can just incorporate them and become stronger in that area that we like, that we admire, and that we see in that person as such a good trait.
Yeah, and I think in the beginning actually Simona already shared something. Yeah, she did it. She did the exercise and then realized, oh wait, I'm super a hypocrite in what I'm doing. So I assume you mean you have the strength but are not able to use it, or are just, you don't exactly know what this, this is your strength basically, and it's telling you do this or that, but you're actually not doing it, even though you think you have the strength, or it is your strength, but you just don't use it.
Yeah. Well, it happens a lot. We are not very coherent, and we tend to have these episodes of not really fitting to our beliefs. Our behaviors doesn't necessarily match our beliefs. What's important is that we go back and revise them. We just don't take it as, okay, I'm a hypocrite and that's where it ends. The conversation just finishes there. I'm okay with not being coherent with myself. But actually, if we take it one step further, we can improve a lot by being more coherent with ourselves. By saying, okay, how can I stop being a hypocrite? And then just trying to incorporate that.
And Simona just explained basically what she means by that. It's like one part is also that you're super, what she said, kind to other people, kind to what other people are about their bodies, their appearance, accepting that. You're super kind whenever another person has problems. But when it comes to yourself, then that's something different. Then that's then you're looking with different eyes on that, or looking just from a different angle. And that's also, yeah, as you said, super hypocritical, that you're not using your strength for yourself, even though that's like the first part you maybe want to start with. So that's a pretty important part with, I guess, most of the strengths that were also there mentioned, like that being fair, being kind, being hopeful, being supportive. But all those things happen a lot when you want to share it with other people, but you're not using that for yourself. Yeah, and here a really important quote came into my brain, which is like, you are giving the world an example of how the world should treat yourself. So if you don't treat yourself right, if you're not kind with yourself, if you are not patient and loving and all those things, those beautiful corny things, then the world will just take it that it's okay to treat you without that love or without that kindness. So it's really important that we start doing that for ourselves, so we can attract more of that kindness, more of that love, and not set the example for the world just to, okay, you can just treat me like shit, that's fine. So that's something that is really important to keep our moods up and to have a good relationship with the environment. Yeah, if you have other examples or other things that happened to you during the exercise, you can share it again later in the chat. We will get back to it later on. And for now, we're gonna continue now with the modeling process.
Yes.
Okay, how does that look? How can we use other people's strength for our own advantage?
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
Yeah. And it's so available, and we've been doing it for ages, but we wanted to specifically address it to just, okay, let's make this visible and let's make this deliberate. So basically, having high self-esteem is mastering the art of being yourself. And by mastering the art of being yourself, we mean, well, basically liking yourself, taking all those traits that you like in other people, taking all those things that you find amazing about the world, that you find amazing about somebody, either it's Jennifer Lawrence or Oprah, or Oprah is like,
super high.
I loved it, it's like Oprah, and well, whoever it is that you admire, then you just, okay, you look at that person and you worship them, and they are so inspiring and so amazing. But like the funny thing is that they are also human, and if they could make it, if they could create this beautiful trait, if they could embody these strengths, then you could also. Isn't that awesome? What? It's super awesome. So here's the thing, like today we will teach you about modeling. Modeling is something that we've been doing since babies. Like you've seen the little girls that are super cute walking in the mom's shoes, and like the pretending to go to work, like taking the phone and just pretending they're talking, and you just see these people that you admire and you just do what they are doing because that looks cool, that looks fun, that looks like it has a meaning. So we do that throughout all our lives. We just observe and copy. There are a million things that you know how to do that you were actually never taught how to do. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, I was remembering the other day, I was never really taught how to broom. Like, is that even the thing? Like, to broom. I would just watch my mom, see her broom, and then I would copy that behavior. But I was never really, like, nobody sat with me and it's like, okay, this is a broom, you grab it here, and then you do this movement. It's important that you keep in mind your elbow. Like, nobody said that. So you just figure it out for yourself. You see something that you need to do, you sort of have an idea, you figure it out for yourself. And we do that every day. Sometimes we, like when we're in a new city and we need to look at the people around, like how are they behaving, so you can, well, copy that behavior or just sort of behave accordingly. In Rome, do as Romans do. Is that a saying in English? I think it is.
I've heard it before. But yes, it is now, yeah.
If it's not, it is now, yes. So this is basically modeling in a nutshell. Observing, incorporating, and doing it. Like integrate that visual stimuli for yourself. And it doesn't have to be visual. It can be auditive. It can be, well, just those two things. Or kinesthetic. But basically those. And so what we will do today is very much focus on this area. And we will do this through an exercise. So just for now, we will not do the exercise now, but just try to bring to your mind a couple of examples of people you admire. And what is it that you admire about them? And this is a process that I personally used a lot for myself, where I would watch like inspirational speakers or therapists that know like what they're doing, or people that are super loving and caring, and I would be like, oh, that's so nice, I want to be like that. And the funny thing is that you can just like observe that, integrate that, and make it your own. And you will choose your own combination of beautiful traits and things that inspire you.
And maybe also like an easy example that I think we almost actively do all the time is when you do a sport, you look at like people who are playing in the highest league and are just like doing it sort of perfect in your eyes, and oh my god, this amazing trick, and then you maybe go outside with whatever it's for example just a football, like I use all the time the example. But basically it is the same thing, that when you see an awesome player making this trick, then you going outside and trying it again and as well, and try to get better at it, and then eventually you're able to do that too and improve your skills, get the experience, get the trust, get the competence in doing that, and so you level up your confidence in those areas. And that's exactly what we're doing now, but just focus on personality, or focus on other areas you want to improve in. Focus on just things that you that help you to heighten your self-esteem.
Good. That's a great example.
Yeah.
And also Leon shared that he took the survey and he was surprised about the ranking. Yes, it is.
I think we all were.
We all
time,
were.
yeah.
Like, oh, right. Okay, those are my strengths. I completely forgot that that's something that you can recognize.
Because most of the time it seems that, those things just, that's just who I am. That's just normal. That the word I hear super often, that the strength is just normal.
Yeah.
But it's still a strength for you. So it really is good that you have it and that you can use it. And you shouldn't just downgrade it with saying, it's normal for me. Yeah. Because it's still a super good strength.
Yeah. So the strength is something that we naturally have, but there are a million personality traits, that you can. I just hit him with my elbow, yes, because I'm so quiet, I just do small gestures. Sorry, back. There are a million different traits that you can incorporate for yourself, and having your dream personality is at the reach of your hand or at the reach of your brain. You just need to find this tiny nuggets of wisdom and kindness and persistence, whatever it is that you admire, that you want to incorporate, and create a list of all these things and go one by one, incorporating, making them your own. So I'm going to share a story about how this clicked for me one time. That it was 6 years ago, and I was watching a TV show called How to Get Away with Murder. There was this episode, it's by the way, if you don't know what it is, it's like a lawyer series. It's like a thriller drama, murdered people, clearly, as in the title says. And it started with this conflict between two teenagers about a girl, and one teenager pulled up a gun and killed the other teenager. Let's call the one that murdered the other one, let's call him Tim. So Tim then was convicted for first-degree murder, and the series then goes towards the trial. And in the trial, the mother of the guy that was murdered, she asked to have like a one-on-one conversation with Tim, and she starts by saying stuff like, well, nowadays in social media, I can have access to all of your information, and I can see who you are, where you come from. I can see that your parents were not there. I can see that you were a dropout from school. I can see that you were hanging out with the wrong people. And this other guy was like, okay, where's this lady going with this? And she was grieving, like her son had just died. And she just said, I really want to hate you, but I can't. I can't hate you. You killed my son and I still can't hate you. And I don't want to hate you. I don't want to let the system win. So I choose to forgive you and find love within my heart to just build something with you. And wow, like when I heard that story, saw that story, I was blown away. Like, how can this lady that just had her son murdered choose to forgive the murderer and also just like try to create a relationship where she mentors him, where she shows him like other ways of living life? And well, this was a game changer for me. I was like, if this lady, this fictional lady that doesn't exist, if she can love the murderer of her son, then I can definitely love all the people that I don't like or that have hurt me in the past, or that I have, just like unpleasant encounters with. Like, for example, I don't know, the bus driver, if he's in a bad mood, and then I can still love him, I can still forgive him, I can still be kind. So this was a huge game changer. I was like, can I just move from that space? And I started experimenting and seeing with all these areas, how can I apply it? How can this work for me? And at some point it just became my default. And I don't really, like, if you know me, you know that I don't really get angry at people. Like, it's really, really hard to get me angry. And it's usually, I am just trying to empathize with you and see where you come from and like what is going on before just making any snap judgments or just like, just reacting. So this was something that really changed my life. And you probably had these things as well throughout your life, where you saw a way of reacting, a way of interacting that was just so different to what you're used to. Mm-hmm. And you were like, oh, is that a possibility? Can I really act like that? Can I be that person? So yeah, you can. Definitely you can. Are there comments?
Simona just shared one. Okay. That basically she showed that her character that she's illustrating as a designer is basically having the traits she is aspiring, she wants to have. And as you said, just realize, okay, that is something I actually want to have and want to do. And that is one way to figure those things out. It can be just like this figure, this character. Mm-hmm. It doesn't have to be a person, a neighbor, a friend. It can be literally anything that you see, okay, I want to have this trait, I want to act this next time like that. So it can be anything, and it's a great example. Yeah.
So now let's move with the exercise. With all this preamble.
And basically do what you have done with this example you just told us. Because it is really that simple and that easy, that you find this person, something that really moved you, somebody that really had an impact on you, seeing, okay, they behaved in this way, or they're amazing in being this artist, amazing in reacting in different situations, or they're super kind, super loving, super confident, and just, or good at speaking, or in any area you really would like to go in. And just pick that person. So really be aware of that and choose them right now consciously and wisely. So it would be perfect actually if you start already going back to your memories, thinking about, okay, is there a person, it can be a neighbor, a friend, but also any celebrity, it doesn't matter where actually. As long as you have some access to.
Maybe it's even easy, like a celebrity that you find like, oh, this person is super extroverted or super funny or, well, always, I don't know, well dressed. That could also be that if for you it's something important, then you have a style icon or something like that you can sort of emulate.
Yeah, and you just look at them and almost really try to analyze, dissect, okay, why is that so good what they do? What is the example? I just take, for example, now the public speaking. Why is a person so well in public speaking and so looks so confident, can use so many different words to describe things, are good storytellers? What makes them so attractive, so good to listen to? And that is something you really would like, you're looking into and trying to analyze, trying to watch it, and then you write it down, and then choose one of those things that you would like to incorporate, and then you choose one of the next week, a situation in which you might be able to use those new traits, new techniques, newfound confidence, something along those lines, whatever you aspire, and try to implement it.
Yeah, it's a long exercise. Yeah, it starts now and it ends never. It's great.
It is really like that you can choose it now, can start it, and once you see, oh wait, that's actually working, then you can use it in all areas that you want to. And that's essentially what this exercise is about. So choose a person that you aspire and find amazing and moving and inspirational, just in any area that you like to. Completely research them, like why is that so amazing what they do? What exactly do I want from them? Why is that so amazing what they do? And just try to write it down, try to dissect it into things that you can actually apply, and then try to find a situation in the coming week that you can use to just practice that skill, basically.
And maybe something comes up really fast, like for example, when when I think of Oprah, I just think, oh my God, she's like this really powerful goddess that just she grounds the room. She just like attracts all the attention. She's so kind. People feel comfortable with her. What is she doing? And it's so hard to grasp. Like sometimes you cannot really pinpoint it. Mm-hmm. Like in football, yes, you can definitely write down, analyze, and see. And if it's a personality trait, like for example, being super likable, being super empathetic, being super loving, it's more subjective, and most of the things are happening inside and you don't see it. So it's more about, okay, what is this person inspiring around? And how can I inspire that? Do I want to inspire that? Do I want to inspire empathy and people feeling comfortable around me or feeling loved or whatever? And that's your starting point to see, okay, what can I do to get there? How can I start to incorporate that for myself? And it doesn't have to look the same way as the other person. It can look very different. For you, like maybe being funny, like you, for example, another of my idols, Jennifer Lawrence, she is super funny, like she's super casual. She's just like, she takes everything and just like, it's super breezy, fresh. And it's her style of being funny, and it doesn't really fit mine. Like I take a little bit like of okay, let's just like take it easy, let's keep it fresh, but I'm a lot more theatrical in my expressions or in the things that I do. So then it's like, okay, how can I still be funny but just more of myself? So I'm not trying to imitate and be that other person, but actually just making it my own. But that's the second step. First, you need to find it and see how you can incorporate that, and then you just make it your own.
So that was a lot to talk, but basically the essential parts is choose a person that you find inspirational and inspiring in some area. It doesn't have to be the whole person, like, but just like that they're good and competent in one area that you would like to get. Then choose to see how you can implement it for yourself and actually do it, to take action. And whether it's like the new trick in football you want to do, the public speaking, the being more kind in another situation that you maybe encounter, whatever you feel like is the thing you want to improve, that is something you can work on then in the next week and see how you can implement that. So that's basically all.
Yeah, it's a pretty simple exercise, but very powerful, and you can apply it to create your desired personality. Just become that person that you always wanted to be, but you never knew how. What a commercial. That's not who I aspire to be.
No, but another, for me, basically I used that tool also without knowing all the time. That was for me like the public speaking, even just like right now speaking in front of the camera, just realizing how many mistakes I do during speaking English and how many M's are in there. Just those things I learned already a lot better than a couple of months and weeks ago, actually. But those things that I'm able to speak in front of this camera right now, is able to speak in front of a group of people right now, is because I actually did exactly that thing. And for me, it started with watching a ton of YouTube videos about public speaking, just people I admire that are just seem so confident, so easy to talk to on stage. It feels like they're just talking to you and in a normal one-on-one conversation. And that's something I wanted to have as well. Like, how can you be so relaxed? How can you be so confident at the same time? Everybody's like listening to you. How can you be so entertaining but not like super overwhelmed? And like, what are the secrets of those people that they are able to do that, and you just enjoy listening to them? And so yeah, as I said, I watched just a ton of YouTube videos, watched a lot of awesome speakers, just also Les Brown, Tony Robbins, Simon Sinek, and a bunch of others I don't even remember anymore. But just looked at, okay, how are they presenting themselves? How are they standing? How are they using their voice, using their timbre, using their speed, whatever it is, like all those small techniques, and trying to use that in the next presentation I had to do. Because they were always a presentation you had to do in university, school, whatever. So that was a good thing that I was forced to learn. But it basically is the thing that you take one of those things and try to implement in the next one. And that's the bad part about it. You realize how many things you still have to improve. How many things there are still that are on the way that you need to improve. But the most important part is really that you just start with one specific thing and try to do it in the next presentation a tiny bit better. And that leads me now to how I do this right now. Leads me to that I actually enjoy this rather than being super freaking scared of speaking in front of other people, of all those mistakes in my head, and just being able to express whatever I want to express.
We've been scared as well.
Oh yeah. So it's still not gone, but it's a lot better that I actually look forward to doing one of those next webinars again. And like, we actually aspire then to do workshops and speak in front of other people. That's how much like the driving force is that we want to do that. And yeah, we basically learn now all the time through this modeling technique all the time.
Yeah, and what we are trying to achieve here is to like ourselves more. And how do we like ourselves more? Like, if we start with who we are, and like, okay, let's just stare at ourselves and see what we don't like and we want to change. If we just do that, then it becomes toxic and it becomes really like a downer, a bummer to go through that process. So this way is actually a very positive and inspiring way to go about it. And by choosing like one thing to work at a time and saying, okay, how can I incorporate this, and becoming more of what you admire. This is the key. You have to become more of what you admire to be embodying and aligned with your core principles, with who you are, like deep inside. Mm-hmm. And you do this, initially it can be done through modeling, and eventually you just like create your own process and do your own thing. But this is a great way to start, just looking at people, seeing what you admire about them. And there's this really important thing, like there's no real distance between you and that person, because they are also human. They have a different story, they have different strengths, maybe their path just made them naturally like that. But you can also get there. Your version, you cannot imitate their version, you cannot imitate them, because that wouldn't be genuine and that wouldn't feel right. But you can be your version of their best traits. And then they become yours. And you become that which you admire. A combination, a fruit salad of all the best traits that you have available in YouTube. So millennial. But
it also does not mean that anything you are right now is in any way bad.
No.
Only if you feel like sometimes, I want to have a bit more self-esteem, I want to be a bit more confident, then this might be a tool, a very nice, handy, useful tool to be able to gain a bit of this confidence, and thus also help you a bit to increase your self-esteem. And so that's just Nothing is wrong with you. But if you want to just, improve a bit and learn something else, learn a skill and be a bit like yourself a bit more, then this might be a way for you to do.
And full disclosure, just as anything we say, it's a process. You will not scan a person and like in the Matrix, you will just incorporate the Matrix in the Matrix movie. In case you didn't see it, they just can upload whatever information in their brains and they just know kung fu or they just know how to cook French food. I don't know. But you cannot really do that in your life. You cannot just phew, oh, okay, I got it. But you can take tiny steps in that direction. You can sort of figure your way around it and take it slow. And it really it is that straightforward. The important part is that you persist, that you commit to incorporating that trait, because you will fail. You will probably fail the first couple of times when you're trying to find your voice, when you're trying to be more assertive, when you're trying to be more kinder. You will probably fail a bunch of times because these are patterns that are incorporated in you that are just different, and you're trying to substitute those patterns with other patterns that you like better. And it's going to be a complex process. You might fall, but success is not about how many times you fall. It's about how many times you get up. So I don't know who said that, but it's such a wonderful quote, because you will fall. You will fall 1,000 times. You will fail. That's important to know. Just be prepared for it and don't get discouraged by it. Understand that it's part of the process.
It is completely normal to, for us, also fuck up any of those things that we're doing right now.
Yeah.
And the only thing that we know for sure is that there is going to be a next time that we can try.
Yeah.
That's kind of the only real lesson in all of those things. If you want to improve something and get better, or just do something, take action, and just, if it doesn't go right, you know how not to do it next time.
Yeah.
That sounds maybe a bit stupid, maybe a bit depressive, that there's not a better way, but that is sort of how most of the people will tell you.
Yeah. Mistakes teach you so much as well.
Oh, yeah.
You learn so much from mistakes. So yeah. I guess it's just that disposition to, okay, I'm open, I'll just experiment with this and I will fuck up. I will. And you will fail, and it's fine. You just have to be okay with that, and you will learn from the mistakes a lot.
And maybe just, find another person who is, when you're falling down, just kicking your ass, and that you get up again.
Yeah.
That might also be a super nice solution. If you feel like, okay, I cannot do this by myself, there are a lot of other people out there who love to kick your ass.
That's, wow.
That sounds bad, but...
Quote. Let's just put that in the Instagram. There's a lot of people out there willing to kick your ass. And it's true as well. Yeah, but what's important out of all of this is that there are things you admire. There is such thing in your head as being a really great person. You see it probably in somebody else. You might not see it for yourself. So you might think, look at your cousin, or you might look at somebody famous like Brad Pitt and say, oh, they have it all. They are just perfect. And yeah, they are, but just making them awesome gets you in this comfort zone of, okay, you are that exceptional thing and I am just a mortal, just a mere human being. And if you just erase that distance and say, okay, they are humans, and if they could do it, I can also do it. Or I can just become a little bit more like Brad Pitt. Why not? Then you can just start with something small and take it from there.
So, we talked a lot, and just to recap what we said, the essential points are actually quite easy. We just try to illustrate it as much as possible to give you an understanding of, okay, how does that work? Is everybody doing that? And that is actually super, super simple. And so we started again with like the recap, what we like did in the previous series, and then went on to the homework that we did, or for you did last time. But the most important part we went into was that, again, we focused on how to increase or how to lift a bit your self-esteem by basically mastering the art of being yourself and being confident in who you are and with the strength that you have, because there you have a ton of them. And then just, okay, if there are parts that I still would like to improve to increase the self-esteem, then you can use the tool of modeling, which is basically looking at somebody you aspire or you find inspiring and want to incorporate some of their skills, some of their traits, some of their behavior, and just do that. Literally just look at them, what they do, and try the next time in the situation that you run into. And everything else was just illustrating how awesome this tool is and how we do it ourselves.
Yes. So we're already open for questions because Facebook will take a little bit. So if you have any questions about modeling or about the other things that we discussed in the previous webinars, then please feel free to share them. Or if you have an anecdote or something that you would like some input on, also that's great. That's awesome. And now we will share, we continue talking, right? Yeah. Until we get something. But we can talk about the homework assignment. Homework assignment is for this week is basically applying this that we talked about and experimenting with it, seeing, okay, what is something easy maybe that you can try this week, or something highly complicated if you're feeling adventurous, and how can it be more of a scientist this week, and just try to apply that and look at the sky and say, oh, it's blue because of the ozone layer or something. I know nothing. I don't aspire to be a scientist.
Ozone layer.
Ozone layer.
Okay.
Is that even a thing in English?
I don't know.
I just picked the wrong example. But yes, that's the thing. And try until you succeed. Yes. Thank you, Kirsten.
Yeah, also if you want to share any quotes to inspire other people also right now in the chat or reading afterwards the comments, also very much appreciated, because that's just awesome support from you guys.
Yeah.
And so that was the main part for this webinar. And next time we will go into the inner monologue, okay?
The scary inner monologue, oh my God.
The self-talk, everything what's happening inside your brain when you're kind of not watching. That's everything that you talk to yourself, how you just think about yourself.
Process stuff that comes in as well.
Yeah. And then also how important that is for this exercise that we actually, for the modeling part. Because when you already have in mind this belief of, oh, I cannot do this anyway at all, ever, then it's pretty hard to get this modeling process started. If you don't think, oh, it's not going to work anyway, so I'd rather not try. Then this is even holding you back from getting better, from improving. And so that's something we especially focus on next week, with also looking at a project that you might be working on where you can actually apply then most of the things that we already covered.
Yes. The project for your new self. Basically setting up a goal or something that you would like to work on.
And give yourself time.
Give yourself time.
Yeah, and with the whole process, it's going to take time. It's going to take a lot of time, probably a month, maybe a year, before you really be satisfied with the progress you have made. Be confident in a new skill, be confident in whatever the next thing is that you would really like to do. We got another one.
Yes, Leon shared, arise and rise again until lambs have become lions. I'm not sure I fully get it, but the explanation is, yes, if you fall, get back up. And this is important, super important because we can just fall. Can we share the story today?
Yes.
Well, before doing the webinar, we were just walking and talking about what we were going to do. And then Julian was distracted and he sort of stepped on the border of the sidewalk. And he was falling, but he didn't want to fall. So he tried to stay up until he finally surrendered and just fell to the floor and ended up completely laying in the street. And it's so humiliating, I'm sorry.
Thanks. But no, that's actually super, I just realized an awesome lesson because I also then, because I was always trying to be super strict on myself and like look on details that I don't make mistakes, don't fall, then especially this happens to me. It's like such an ironic thing. So I had to laugh so badly while I was lying there on the ground. That was just the easiest thing for me to get back up again. I was like, I didn't take myself seriously at all in this moment because it was just funny.
Yeah.
And that is just...
Are you okay?
Yes,
I'm
fine. I'm fine.
He's fine. Yeah, it was the same. It's like he was laying on the floor, like laughing, and it's like, "Are you okay? Did you hurt yourself? Is it fine?" Yes, but I find it like I have that happen because I'm super clumsy, and I have that happen often, and I find it so humbling. It's like you're just like in your head, just like making these things and just worrying about whatever, and then you just like drop something or just hit something and something falls or you fall. And it's such a humbling experience that you're like, oh my God, you're all over the place. Just like, okay, but put yourself back together, get on track and learn from this.
Just a normal person that can just fall on sidewalk.
Yes.
So never forget that you don't take yourself that seriously if something goes wrong. Just put away the dirt and get up again. That's it.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's nice the story. Main lesson. Yeah, that's the main lesson of it. And yeah, just have it's important to have that attitude in general. And because it's very easy just to fall and then stay on the ground and say I'm a failure or I should be ashamed. Yes, I'm such a terrible person or a terrible human that I just had to have this happen. This lesson is important, and it's like you just no, you can just shake it off. You choose what you do when you fall, and. Yeah, I was thinking like, okay, when I face difficult situations or when I make a mistake, like how do I handle it? And sometimes it takes me a while to pivot, to get back into the field. But it is important that like if you fall, don't stay down for too long because you might get super comfortable there. It can be just like, oh yeah, I'm a failure, and that's the conclusion, and I will just take that as like the justification for giving up on life, and that's not the best life that you can have. So maybe you can stay there for a little bit until you recover, and then you get back up, and then you go again.
That's a great, nice ending. And just to keep in mind for yourself is this exercise that we mentioned. Just search for somebody, trying to get some of their traits, trying to just look at what they do and try it for yourself next time. And just with that, you build up this momentum to just get better in many different areas, and then hopefully also increase then how much you like yourself. Because it is just can be that easy, but you just like start the process. And when you fall, just get back up and try again.
Yes. That's beautiful. Oh my God. Okay. You guys didn't share any other questions. Thank you for letting us talk. Apparently we were super excited about sharing that story. But
you were.
I was. I know I was. But yes, thank you for joining once again. And if you have any further follow-up questions, you can just reach out to us in the Unbox Yourself page. See? Public speaking mistakes, all the time.
How dare you?
How dare I? That should be an example.
Well, thank you for joining this live session, and hope to see you then next week.
Yes. Have a great week.
Oh, you can always rewatch it.
Oh yeah.
Just for you know.